Hello, this is Aleph Talks, and we are back with.
We didn't name it.
The changes of being a Christian. What have you learnt this week?
This week I just read in Deuteronomy about the spilling of the blood, like how you're supposed to drain the meat, the animal's blood, because it's like their life and stuff. I remember Alistair talking about that because it was like a witchcraft thing back in the day. He talked about
Okay.
because they used to like drink the blood because they thought it would give them more life because the blood is the life force.
Oh, right.
Yeah. So it talked about in Deuteronomy how you need to like empty the blood, otherwise, like God will be angry at you. And what did I learn in Acts? I'm also reading Acts. I think it was Paul talking about how the Gentiles can get the Holy Spirit as well.
Right.
Yeah.
The whole dream thing.
Yeah. I guess it's like it's just stuff we already knew that we were taught, but it's cool to read it, just to be able to like.
Now you know for real.
Yeah, like I've read the whole chapter, and I can say for sure that I know what it's about.
Right. Cool. I'm reading Matthew and Job, and in Matthew, I just got to the second time because you know how in John we see when Jesus gives the food to all the people, like the 7 loaves of bread or whatever, to like 70 billion people. Not 70 billion, but like heaps of people.
Like what did Alistair say? Like 28,000 people.
Yeah, and there was like a little amount of bread and a little amount of fish, and everyone got fed.
Yeah, 2 loaves of bread and like 3 small like sardines.
Yeah, well, I read that, but there's a second part. Like there's another time that he does it.
Yeah.
And I just read that as well. And there was this part where I'm supposed to ask Alistair about it because I didn't really understand it. But he got approached by this lady and was like, "Help me, my daughter's sick" or something. And then he was like, Jesus said something, and then he said, "Don't give bad stuff to the dogs" or something.
Yeah.
And
Is that like the? I think we talked about that with Alistair once. I don't remember. It's like giving scraps to the dogs or something like that.
Yeah, but then that lady, she was like, "Yeah, but even dogs wait for the crumbs at this master's feet or something."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Whoa, that sounds cool." Because Jesus was like, "Oh, your faith is so intense."
I remember Alistair talking about it, and I think just one of our talks with him. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't understand what that meant. I just knew that Jesus thought it was like cool or whatever.
Yeah.
And I was like, "Oh yeah," like it was like a witty remark or something. I don't know. Like I don't know how to interpret the old people in the Bible because they speak really weirdly.
I think that part, it was like right there in my head. Something to do with wanting even the littlest bits of what God has to offer.
Oh.
Yeah. So like you're not supposed to feed it to, like you wouldn't feed your scraps to a dog, right? For example. But even the dog waits for the crumbs.
Oh, I get it.
Yeah.
Oh, so what? So Jesus, what is Jesus saying? He's like, "I'm not gonna give you the leftover of myself."
I guess so. He's probably just saying like because he said her faith was like intense, strong. You know.
He didn't say strong or intense.
Yeah,
it was like
just,
some Jesus words.
Yeah. Some old English Hebrew stuff that I don't understand.
Yeah.
I think it's just she's showing that she really wants God, regardless of how little it is. So he's saying that she has like a righteousness in that sense. Maybe not righteousness.
I get you. Yeah, anyways, that's what I learned in Matthew. And then in Job, I'm at the start of Job, and he's complaining to God really about what God's doing, like all the stuff. And his friends are like, "Oh, maybe it's because you're sinning and whatever." So that's what I'm up to.
Yeah.
There's a lot of times where it says, "But there's still hope," and there is hope, like those sentences in the chapters.
Yeah.
And I think it's really cool that it still says that, because even though he's like got he's got these scabs and stuff, and like he's got no money, his sheep were taken or whatever, there's still hope.
Yeah.
Like I haven't read the whole thing yet, but I like the thought of that.
God is so awesome in the like near the ending kind of parts of Job.
Yeah, I know. I remember when we were doing research for our talk. We read it.
That was hilarious. I thought God was just great.
I asked Alistair, and he was like, if you just read to the end, you'll see God is denying what his friends are saying or whatever. And I was like, yeah, but I'm reading it one by one. I can't read everything at once. Yeah. It's not a book a day, it's a chapter a day, okay?
A book a day. Whoa.
I think it...
Could you imagine reading the entire, like, Psalms?
Yikes. There's, like, so many chapters,
There's this one chapter, I think it's, like, 119 or something like that.
That has...
It has the whole Aleph in it.
The alphabet.
It's a really good one. It's got so many good verses in it.
Yeah, anyways. The changes that come with becoming Christian. I feel like a lot of the changes are easy for people like us. And they make sense. Like, it's easy when they make sense.
Yeah. All you have to do is...
explain it.
Yeah.
Before I became Christian, I didn't want to get married or have kids.
Yeah, I remember that. That was intense.
Yeah.
Now it's like, I want children.
I do want children. But I didn't want that because of how my parents were.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I don't want to be like that, so I'm just not going to even try. You know?
I get you. Like, what's the point of being a parent if
you don't know how to be? And so that's why I didn't want to get married or have kids. But then, like, when I became Christian, you know, God says, oh, well, I don't know if he says it or not. We're supposed to have kids to further his kingdom.
Mm.
Maybe he says it. Don't quote me.
We're not scholars, okay?
Yeah. But there's the whole proverb of woman with valor.
Yeah.
Like, to pass it on generation to generation.
Yeah.
So that's pretty implicit,
yeah.
I'm sure. Like, you have to have kids to pass on the generation.
Even if they're spiritual kids, okay?
Yeah. So it makes sense to have kids now. And also to get married, because if you commit your body to one person that you trust and love and stuff, then they won't do you wrong, really.
Yeah. And especially after becoming Christian, you see more value in those things, especially in the way God describes marriage.
Right.
And just the ability to be able to share your faith with those who are the closest with you, so your children.
Right. Because also, I think that your faith is 99% of you.
Yeah.
Besides that 1% where you're like, it's yourself talking, you know?
Yeah.
Kind of. Like, I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's not all you.
Yeah.
When you're Christian. It's majorly God.
Like, obviously we have the free will and everything.
Yeah. But it's shaped when you're Christian.
Because, like, our aim is to be like Jesus. He is the image or the role model that we want to take after because, you know, he didn't sin. He was literally the perfect human. And
it'd just be great to be like that. With him, God was well pleased. So that's why we want to be like him.
We hope that God is pleased with us.
I hope so too.
Yeah.
Sometimes I worry about it because I don't know if we're doing our project for us or for him. But I do know.
Whether the pride is because, like, whoa, we're doing so well, which isn't bad to be proud of ourselves. I guess it always turns back to God in that sense.
Yeah. And then getting explained that marriage is better because, you know, love is sacrifice and it's about commitment. It's not about how you feel. It's better to get married because then you have to stay together rather than the opportunity to not be together.
Yeah.
If you're just with someone and you love them, then you have to be with them because God said.
Yeah.
Then there's just like this massive responsibility and you'll always be together, so there's no chance of like...
And marriage plays a huge part in a lot of God's imagery. You know, he often talks about himself or Jesus as the husband. I always get a little bit confused exactly what the bride is.
Israel.
Yeah, pretty sure.
Israel's female.
It's kind of like that.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
We don't know much.
We're not 100% sure. But it's around that area.
Yeah.
There's no mother God. Okay.
There's no mother God.
I'd rather it be Israel. But yeah, there's like, when becoming Christian, so many things you have to adjust. Like, not just the things you do, but the way you think.
Right.
As well. Like, it's not always easy. Like, sometimes it can be pretty easy. Like, oh, yeah, I can stop doing that because God wants me to stop. Other times it's like, how do I? And it's good that we have God to lean on in those times. Like, it's not just do it all on your own.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, can you please help me? I'm stuck. Can't change, you know? Or at least can't change on my own.
It's comforting to be like that, I think. There's also the way we have to treat other people has to change too.
Yeah, that one's actually really hard.
I find that very hard.
That one's really hard because when you're brought up a certain way, you have certain judgments of people. The way you act around others is different.
Yeah.
And, especially if you come from how we kind of were. We're not so nice to people.
Yeah.
Pretty judgmental. And it's like, it's hard to know because God wants us to love everyone and not to judge like that.
Yeah, we can judge righteously.
Like, if I can't judge that you're doing something bad, then I can't tell you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I need to be able to judge you in that sense.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. But it's hard to change those mindsets.
Also, as a not Christian person, like, usually I think you just think about yourself, really. So, coming to Christianity and, of course we try our best to love people.
Yeah.
Because we're trying to come from God.
Yeah.
So we have to show what He does. But it's hard to consider people all the time. Especially when you want to do stuff. Or also when you're Christian and they're not Christian.
Yeah. Like, it's definitely hard for non-Christians. Like, as people have been not Christian before.
Yeah.
It's hard not to put yourself first. To make God the first thing in your life.
Yeah.
Not that it's not that hard.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Like, I try to put God first all the time. I mean, when I think about it, I do.
Yeah.
But sometimes I forget to think about it. So when I'm thinking about other things, like, say, my non-Christian friend was talking about having sex with her boyfriend, then straight away I'll be like, what the heck? Why would you do that? Like, no. But it would be such a harsh judgment on them.
Yeah. Because we have these values, but we're still learning how to apply them properly.
Yeah.
When talking to other people.
Yeah, also, I don't think, like, God would want me to talk to someone harshly just because I don't agree with what they're saying.
Yeah.
That's why when I forget to think about God, I forget how to consider people's feelings,
Yeah. Because, like, sometimes people need harshness.
I agree.
Yeah. Other times, not so much.
Mm-hmm.
And I can totally get that. Like, it's not... Like, sometimes I need to be more harsh rather than being so soft.
Yeah. I'm usually harsh, but I know how to not speak, so that's soft enough for me.
It's something. I think holding your tongue is a lot.
It's wise in itself.
Yeah. In the right situations.
In the right situations, yeah. If you're about to hold your tongue for your faith, hell no.
But I think, yeah, definitely having to change the way you treat people. Like, you can't disown yourself for the sake of other people.
No.
Because then it becomes an idolatry of people.
Right.
You have to love yourself in order to love your neighbours, right? Like...
Yeah. And I think if you just think about how Jesus would do it first, then it would give you a good idea how to consider people.
We got like a whole half a Bible about Jesus' life.
Yeah. And he's like pretty straightforward. Of course, he's Jesus. There's reasons why he doesn't do stuff in the benefit of other people.
Yeah, like the parables, sometimes he doesn't show up to different places at the time they expect him to.
Mm.
And it's all in, obviously, God's perfect timing.
Yeah, but also, even though he doesn't do stuff, he's still following all the laws like that God's placed. Man, Jesus is so cool.
He really is. What else with, like... I guess with, like, non-Christians in terms of, like, having to change, it's so hard to tell someone that you think they're doing something wrong if they're not Christian.
Yeah.
Because then you can't... Even if you do explain to them that God doesn't want you to be that way, it's
an invalid argument
to them, even though God works in his own ways to get things through. It's hard because, people get offended if they don't believe in God and you tell them, hey, I think the way you talk is offensive and a mess. It's like, whoa, okay, excuse me, But I think when you become Christian, it's still hard to accept being told that maybe the way you've done something your whole life is wrong. But as a Christian, I think it's a little bit easier to accept.
Well, it's easier to...
understand where it's...
Yeah, but it's also easier to act on it because you have the strength from God.
Yeah. Because God doesn't put us through anything we can't handle, so...
Yeah. And he doesn't tempt us.
Yeah. That's so intense, isn't it? Like, when we first were told about that, I thought that was so cool, like, actually thinking about how God has never put us through anything
You can't handle.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to talk about our lives all the time.
Yeah.
We still do, but in a more nostalgic feel.
Yeah, it's cool to be able to look back on it and be like, I'm thankful to God for just that little tiny thing.
It's like, this is why that happened, because now I do this today.
Yeah. And even like that time you brought the plate of food over.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, that was so intense.
Yeah, I feel that. All those times we've borrowed rides from each other to the shop and stuff.
Yeah. Being able to chill and do something as simple as the paper run.
Like that time when you guys didn't have toilet paper.
Yeah.
I got in trouble for it, but I gave you 4 rolls.
Yeah, that was so intense. And then like I gave you some as well.
Yeah, it's obviously God, like
you look back on it and you can't not see God in everything that we've done in our lives.
I'm very thankful for it anyway.
Yeah, I get you. Even like small things, just like you need to get home, you forgot your umbrella, it's about to rain, and you get home and then it rains just after you get inside and you're like, whoa.
Tell me about it. You know that time I went home and I was coming over and it was raining to the days?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, God, can you slow down the rain a bit? And then I got, it was like, and then it went,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh. Man, God answers prayers so intensely. Like, it feels too obvious.
Yeah. You're like...
He's just like, I obviously love you. I'm like, oh, thanks.
It's weird because some people... I understand some people struggle with, like, prayer and all that kind of stuff. And unsure that he answers those kinds of things. But you will see in time. Like, you can never see it when it's working.
Yeah.
It's not till, like, afterwards that you're like, yo, God did that for me.
Yeah, either in time you see it, or it's not supposed to happen because it's not good for you.
Yeah.
Because obviously God thinks about the benefit of us.
Yeah.
Because he loves us.
I think that's what gets me through most struggles. It's just like, whatever's happening is going to be the best for me as long as I am relying and always turning to God.
Yeah, because we can't tell what's going to happen in the future.
Yeah.
But God knows. And who's best to trust than someone who knows everything?
Yeah, honestly.
Sometimes I don't get why people aren't Christian. Actually, all the time I don't get it.
It's because...
Now that I'm Christian, I'm like, what? Why wasn't I this earlier?
It's because people don't want to change.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense.
Because, like...
They don't want to be accountable for their own sins.
Yeah. Like, you tell someone, hey, you shouldn't sleep with someone before you're married, or you shouldn't sleep around. They're like, it's my body, I can do what I want with it. It's not even that bad. You know, it's like, you don't even realize what you're doing to yourself.
Because sexual immorality is not just a sin to God, it's a sin to yourself.
Yeah.
Because it's on you.
Yeah.
Like...
And he refers to our bodies, like in the Bible, refers to our bodies as temples.
Yeah.
To God. And, like, when I first read that, I was like, whoa, that is so intense, because it's like you're desecrating your body, which is a temple to God. I was like...
I get that.
It's difficult when you're watching people who aren't Christian making these decisions because they don't see what it's doing to themselves. And then they also can't look back on all the things that's happened to them and be thankful for even the smallest things, like getting home before it rains on you.
Yeah. Like, God answers prayers because he's so good. Like, yeah. Like today when we went to Countdown and they stopped us, she was like, do you have your license on you? And I was like, yes I do. And I'm only unrestricted, and I was like, we're not supposed to be driving together. And then I was like, you know what, God? I'll take the ticket please just calm me down. And then I was calm, and then I didn't get a ticket. And I was like, you read my heart. I didn't want one. Who wants a ticket?
Yeah. But, like, it was such a good little moment. Like,
it was.
Like, even you coming over yesterday was just, like, something I was thankful for because I needed some kind of energy because I was so drained from all the schoolwork.
If we ever did a segment going over all the prayers that have been answered, we'd be here for 10 hours, mate.
So, I think, even with Christians, that we might struggle with the ideas of knowing how we're supposed to change without, like, looking to the ultimate example being Jesus.
Right.
It can be difficult sometimes because obviously we want to lean on our own understanding.
Yeah.
We want to be like...
But it says not to do that.
Yeah. We want to be like, hey, I'm smart. I know this stuff. I've got wisdom. You should be like this. Without... But it's not always wrong.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, God works in his ways. But we should always turn to the Bible and to Jesus for those kinds of things.
Yeah, because you can't write a scholarly essay without reference.
Yeah. That's so intense. That's so legit.
Yeah. So you can't give someone advice if you don't know where it's coming from.
Yeah. Like, if you don't understand God's character, if you don't understand Jesus, how are you supposed to tell someone that they're supposed to be like him?
There's also the fact that you don't even need that much experience, really.
Yeah.
Like, experience helps, but you don't need that much. Because I really don't like it when people who have been Christian for ages start acting like they can tell you what to do.
I get you, because, like, I've met people who have been Christian for ages, right?
Yeah.
Like, they might be legit Christians, whatever.
Yeah.
But often it feels like I have learnt more than what they're trying to tell me.
Even that church we went to that one time, and she was like, you have to do communion if you've been baptized. I was like, but I don't want to do it, so yeah, I'm not going to do it.
And it's really a Passover thing anyway. But, like, it's not like you don't have to...
You don't have to... It's not like you don't have to remember God died for us. Like, that's okay.
Yeah.
You can do it. You can do communion anytime.
Communion's perfectly fine. Like, go ahead.
Yeah.
But there's a knowledge around certain things that a lot of Christians lack. And, of course, we're still lacking. Like, we haven't even read the whole Bible once.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. But when it comes to, like, giving advice to people, genuine advice from yourself is very good. But genuine advice based on God is even better.
It's the best.
Yeah.
But there's also this thing, you know, how I talked about how I was saying experienced Christians do this thing.
Yeah.
Like, I think that some experienced Christian, what's that word that's not experienced, but they're old and
matured?
Yeah, mature. Yeah,
Christians.
that's it. I feel like some matured Christians take this kind of pride in their Christianity since they've been it for so long.
Yeah, I get that.
And it's really off-putting.
I get that.
To new Christians especially, I think.
It makes you think like, is that what Christianity is?
But it's also like, because for me, my personality especially, I don't like it when people tell me what to do.
Yeah.
And so when they're like, oh, you shouldn't wear that to church. It makes me want to go naked or something, you know? Like, to be so extreme just because I know what I know about God.
Yeah.
And God, I don't think God cares about what we wear.
As long as
we're appropriate, yeah. Because he doesn't care if we wear, like, pajamas to church. Because I think it's a form of comfortableness, you know? Like, you don't wear pajamas unless you're, like, sick or something, you know?
Yeah.
All these Christians that have been Christian for ages have this thing where they're like, you have to dress your best, you know, wear a dress, suit and tie kind of thing.
It's like, I love the Lord, but he loves me too. So.
Yeah, like, he doesn't care about what we're wearing. Like, what is that thing? Your best clothes become rags in front of the Lord or something?
Yeah, something like that.
That's another verse somewhere that we don't know about.
It could be the convergence of, like, 7 verses. Like, you know.
We really need to, like, work on our verse game.
Well, we're not aiming to be super correct.
Yeah, but it's good for us because then we know for reals.
Yeah, true.
But I think we get the essence of the verse, so it's fine.
The idea's there.
But anyways, yeah. That's what I didn't like about church when I wasn't Christian. because we had to dress up, and it's just so annoying to me because I don't have anything to dress up in.
I get you.
And second of all, I just want to be comfortable. I don't want to dress up for anyone.
Yeah.
And I don't think God wants us to dress up for him. Like, if he did want us to dress up, it'd be our hearts, you know?
Yeah.
Or our souls, like...
Yeah, wear that armor of, like, salvation and love and...
Yeah. I know that verse too.
Yeah. We read it recently.
Whatever verse that is.
Probably John or something, I don't know.
Anyways. Yeah, that's what annoys me. Also, they have this whole, like, I know more than you, so you should listen kind of thing.
Yeah, and
as
like,
matured Christians.
And it's like, of course, yes, we want to turn to our matured Christians or whatever.
Yeah.
For their knowledge, their experiences. We want to be there, but if you're being so condescending about it, how are we supposed to feel comfortable around you? We don't want to learn from you if you're like that.
And it just sucks.
Yeah, Christians are not better than other people. The only thing that's different is that we know we've been saved.
Yeah. And we've committed our lives to God.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when people talk like that, it really puts me off as a Christian. And
holier than thou.
Yeah. It especially put me off when I wasn't a Christian.
Yeah, I get you.
That's why when we met the fam, I was like, oh, I want to learn from you guys.
Interested because they were more soft-hearted about it.
Yeah, they were calm.
Genuine.
Like, they're obviously mature in their faith.
Yeah.
But they weren't rubbing it in our face. They were just like, oh, that's what you've been taught's kind of wrong. I'll just tell you about the Bible.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's the best place to know about Christianity.
Yeah.
Like,
teach me.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of young people, like around our age, can be very teachable.
I think so too.
With the right attitude applied. Like,
yeah.
Obviously, you got your brats. Like, every generation has their brats that don't want to listen to anyone.
Yeah.
But we're a very teachable generation, I think.
I think especially since we're online now.
Yeah.
Because that's such a big platform for such a wide variety of people.
And it's so influential.
It is very influential. If our podcast was trending, so many people would listen to it.
Honestly.
And then they would take something from it because if God
wants them to.
If God wants them to take something from it, then they will, like...
Could plant a seed, and then God could just, like, water it, and then be like, woo,
yeah,
Christianity.
Yeah. That's exactly what it is. But yeah, we're very teachable. It's just that I think some matured Christians forget to change with the times as well.
Yeah.
Like, not change in a bad way, like... Yeah.
God doesn't change.
No.
God doesn't change, and we should always adhere to his values and his rules.
Of course.
But...
The ways of teaching changes.
Yeah.
And since people are so different, you have to adapt to how they learn.
Yeah.
To be able to teach them stuff.
It's a personal thing, really.
Yeah.
Like, pastors, they get to know the people in their church. They talk to them, they counsel them,
Yeah.
It's the same when we as Christians go out to talk to people. We need to show interest in them, get personal with them, understand how they take things on, because everyone's different.
Yeah, and then it will be easier to reach them with the gospel.
Yeah, because you've shown that you really do care, and obviously your caring can't be false.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, that just reminds me of us because the way Alistair teaches us is basically the same.
Yeah.
But we both have different ways of understanding, and he alters it for both of us.
Yeah.
When he talks to us separately,
Yeah. Because definitely the way he talks to me when it comes to our conversations about it is very different from how he talks to you.
Yeah.
Obviously because he knows us and he understands how we understand things.
Yeah. Which is what teachers are supposed to be like.
Yeah. It's very important for matured Christians as well to not get prideful in the fact that they're Christians, like you mentioned before. Because obviously you can't have pride in yourself for being a Christian. It's pride in God for allowing you to be a part of it,
And, like, it's not because of you
that you're proud.
Or that you're mature in faith. It's because he's taught you stuff. Like, it all leads back to God.
God, yeah.
And also, I think there's this thing that possibly mature Christians could do. Like, I've seen it, kind of. I'm not very quick-witted when it comes to this kind of stuff. But I think mature Christians take pride in knowing more, so they don't like to take on what younger people say.
Yeah, like there's this block.
Yeah, they're like, oh, you're just a teenager, you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but the thing is, we come from the generation they're trying to teach. Why not take on how our minds are seeing things?
Yeah.
Because, like, obviously, like, for example, I always do things in metaphors. Because people get that. People attach themselves to those things. Metaphors get to people.
Yeah, and, like, I speak in a very straightforward way, so it's for people who don't get metaphors.
Yeah.
Like, I understand metaphors, but there's probably people out there that don't understand the intense ones and stuff. So, mature people, we can enlighten them.
Yeah.
And what we've learnt by the way we speak about it.
Yeah.
That they probably didn't understand from the past, or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But people have this whole, like, I've been around longer than you. I think a lot of old people are like that.
I think it, like, comes with a lot of old people. They're just like, oh, you're young, and I'm old and wise now, so I know more than you, and you don't know anything. You're new, you know, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And I don't think it has anything to do with that. It's really just your relationship with God and wanting to learn about Him.
Anyways, I think since God never changes, He teaches us how to change for Him.
Yep. That's mint.
Yeah, that was a good one. And then since we come from Him, we're obviously changing for the better.
And from that, we should always be thankful for it, because even the littlest things God is doing.
I think also we could be thankful for the things that we think God may be doing, like influencing our friends that aren't Christian.
Yeah, just...
Even, no matter how small it is.
Yeah.
We'll see the outcome eventually. Yeah. It's all for good.
Thankful
timing.
for the future, you know?
Yeah, we're thankful
those
for the
kind
future.
Of things.
The promises that God's given us that we know is going to happen, because God can't lie.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so that's it for today. Hopefully it's a short one.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty short one.
Cool. Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye.